My name is Sakid Ahmed. I will be presenting primarily the portions around the cnVision product line from CamBium Networks. And then we will also go over a live demo of the product and navigating the user interface a little bit, as well as highlight some of the features around the video management system integration and camera integration with OnVIF. As always, I encourage questions at the end of the session. You are welcome to type in your questions into the questions window. I will be more than happy to respond to everything possible. So please stay engaged and think of the questions that you have. If something we cannot answer today, we will make sure to come back and respond. We will also be recording this webinar, and we will be publishing the recorded webinar on our community. If you want to revisit this or want to pass it on to someone else in your company or one of your peers, you're more than welcome to do so from the recording. And if anybody have any issues with the audio, please let me know, but I think we're good to go. All right, first and foremost, cnVision. What is this? I'll get started with that. It's a wireless transport for mission critical video. The best way to describe this is that at CamBium Networks, we built a dedicated purpose-built wireless connectivity platform for video cameras. At a highest level, as you can imagine, cameras being deployed out there with fiber or copper, which can become an expensive solution or a time-consuming path. Wireless is a very, very lucrative and reliable, if you choose the right wireless platform, and a cost savings way of deploying that camera. But before we go a little bit further into the product, let me just spend a few minutes on CamBium Networks, just so that everybody understands who we are and what our pedigree is from. And with that, I'll move to the next slide. Long story short, CamBium Networks is a public company as of 2019, mid-year, but our heritage started as part of the Motorola Solutions Group, where we were a brand known as Canopy and another brand called Orthogon Systems. Our pedigree or our origin is all about wireless products. Our expertise is in building hardware and software solutions that provide connectivity to internet service providers. So that's kind of where we came from. Our products are in 150 different countries. We do a lot of point-to-multipoint and point-to-point IP wireless broadband solutions. There's millions of units out there that feed the service provider business. The most important thing is that our heritage and how we develop products and what the pedigree of cnVision is that, we've got this Motorola background with product reliability, hardware performance, combined with some of our software solutions and radio frequency products and our proprietary interfaces. We create this very powerful solution. You can buy a lot of very low-cost products that are more or less standard Wi-Fi based solutions that when you use that for video backhaul, you see jittery video, or you have link reliability issues, or you don't have anybody to call, et cetera, et cetera. The best way to think about the CamBium solution here is that it's not just a technical solution, but hardware reliability, predictability, support, all of that comes together. This product, the stuff that CamBium has done is not new to video backhaul. As you can clearly see from some of these images, products are in some mission critical locations internationally as well as the United States, feeding camera backhaul in urban areas. But this product that we traditionally sell into this space tends to be built primarily for the wireless internet service provider. What cnVision is that it's a custom built and a purpose built product. We've made everything easier and we've created integration, and as we go through the demo, that will become much clearer. Where does cnVision fit in the competitive space is something I kind of wanted to show. Needless to say, in this industry, Ubiquity Networks is a popular brand from a cost perspective. Performance is moderate because it is the wireless internet service provider product that is repurposed for the video backhaul. There are some companies that you may or may not be familiar with, or maybe in your country or in your particular region, there are other brands. There are people that create products for the video surveillance industry, but they're highly priced. They're $1,000 radios or $2,000 products. The cnVision platform is meant to give you superior performance as compared to the Ubiquiti platform, as well as the other brands, but then give it to you at a much better pricing. We have the professional grade hardware, the purpose-built. It's easy to deploy. It's reliable, secure, and we have 24/7 support, 3-year warranty. All of these things make our portfolio a much stronger solution for video backhaul. Needless to say, one of the last things I wanted to talk about before I introduce the portfolio, which is important to understand, is our pitch is as a wireless company. If you do anything to do with video backhaul in urban, dense environment where you have lots of people, which is where people are putting more and more cameras, unfortunately, because security is a big concern. So running power is typically not a challenge, but running that connectivity, whether it's fiber in the ground, whether it's fiber up in the pole, there's challenges. There's costs associated with, there's time associated with it. There's permits and bureaucracy, weather, all of that make it a more of a cost prohibitive solution. If you're selling cameras, at the end of the day, the faster you can deploy the camera, the better for your business. So if you're a system integrator deploying cameras, wireless will give you faster deployment. That means you can go to the next project, or you can competitively bid against other system integrator bidding for the same project. And wireless now with CamBium solution will give you that reliability and the predictability, so you don't have to worry about it. It will be similar to wired performance. So with that, let me introduce you to a little bit of the hardware portfolio so you have an idea what we're talking about, and then I'll come back to the feature set. So moving ahead a few slides, this is sort of the portfolio overview. And you have a lot of details here in spec sheets, which you can find on our website. But fundamentally, we have the concept of a hub and a client. And the next picture will give you a good idea. The hub is meant to be as your base station, as your access point. In other industries, that's what they're called, but it's the one that's talking to the clients. And a hub such as the Hub FlexR representing flexible and ruggedized, you can attach third-party antennas or CamBium antennas and create like a coverage area where you can put clients, and those clients would essentially plug into a PoE brick, which will go to a switch, and that switch will have additional cameras plugged in, and those cameras will transmit their video, but it will be coming through the wireless link onto the hub and then onto your network. There are 3 types of clients, a micro, mini, and a MaxR. They support different ranges. We believe that most CCTV deployments don't require very long range, and therefore 4 miles, 8 miles more than suffices. And then some of these micro and the mini can also be configured as a hub and give you 30-degree coverage or 15-degree coverage, depending on what you need. There's also a Hub 360, which provides you 360-degree coverage for doing the same job. Coming back to this slide, you have this too then, the Hub FlexR and the Hub 360. You have 3 client devices, micro, mini, MaxR, and then any attachment antennas. And there is a company that we work with called RF Elements that makes nice horn antennas that work well. So easy to remember, easy to understand the solution. But this is essentially the hardware profile of cnVision. Moving ahead, I will go back to a little bit of the feature set. What makes cnVision different and unique in the industry? First and foremost, security is a big concern for us. We appreciate the fact that if you haven't done wireless, or if you are just getting into wireless, you read all sorts of articles about Wi-Fi getting hacked or cameras getting hacked, et cetera, et cetera. What I wanted to highlight here is the cnVision. When we are transferring your camera traffic over the link, it's encrypted with things like AES 128-bit encryption or 256, which is even more robust. The actual protocol that we're using has some proprietary nature to it, so you can't just use a Wi-Fi analyzer and debug it or sniff it, as well as access, whether it's SSH, HTTPS, radius, there's administrator level, different user level, all sorts of controls built around making the data that goes over it secure, as well as the product itself. We have a deployment assistant. We appreciate that radio frequency wireless can be complicated. There are numerous parameters, there's physics and everything involved. And typically in this industry, the wireless that is presented to the world of CCTV system integrators is complex. We have made that easy. And part of making that easy is to offer a tool that is a deployment assistant that will help you plan your network based on your camera deployment. We'll ask questions like how many megapixels does your camera support, what's the frames per second, what is the codec rate, and calculate the throughput needed, and then tell you the radio link you need. So this will make things very easy, and I'll show you a screen capture of that. The two middle points are not, don't need to elaborate too much. Transmission has everything to do with how we send the packets. The most important thing about wireless is that if you have interference, if you have other people doing wireless, you cannot afford to have your video traffic degrade in quality. So everything we do under the hood, under the engine, in the engine of the radio, the proprietary protocol, how we handle the packets, that's captured under this paragraph of transmission. Ruggedization, all of our products are outdoor. So temperature ranges, UV rating, salt fog, all of that is incorporated because our products have a heritage of surviving everything from the Sahara Desert to Siberia. The last 2 points is what we will demo today. This is quite interesting, and I'm excited to share this. One is that the product in itself, we have integrated something called an OnWave client, which you may be very familiar with. Almost all camera vendors support a OnWave profile. This allows us to discover camera hardware and provide that information to you right at the hub and the client, as well as rebroadcast a stream that allows you to see what the camera is seeing. It becomes a powerful troubleshooting interface. Last but not least, video management system integration. We appreciate that VMS is the heart of a video network. The cameras are the eyes. I guess I should say it's the brains, eyes in the brain, or maybe the heart. But as the cameras send the traffic, you manage the cameras, you monitor what's going on to the VMS. We are now integrating our hub and the client also with leading VMS vendors to allow the same VMS to be a single point where you can see what's going on. So these are the two demos we'll show you, which should be interesting. I'll highlight a few other things that are non-technical that is important for the webinar attendees to see. And this will demo here real quick. As I was saying, the cnVision Companion, the deployment tool. So this is some of the screen captures of this. This is still finishing up its last bit of development. It will be available on our website for download here shortly. But as you can see here, it has things like resolution, bitrate, compression, and finding the devices and showing information in a hierarchy and things like that. Packaging, we won't go through that, but I want to show one last thing that, as you remember, I showed this portfolio. The 5 SKUs are the most important. If you pay attention to this MaxR device, you will appreciate that that same MaxR has a new variant called the MaxR MP, which will be available a little later this year, just around August, September timeframe into our distribution. We've done something interesting with this device. We've created a switch with PoE out. So now the radio can actually connect cameras directly and power. There's about 45 watts of budget across these 3 ports. You can do 30 watts max on one port, 15 watts, and a 30 volt or a 24 volt pass through to connect one of our own devices. So we believe this device will make a very strong complement to anybody deploying video cameras out there. Moving ahead a little bit to the rest of the offering from CamBium. CamBium University, we have completed our first instructor-led technical course on wireless networking, some CCTV basics, camera basics, and last but not least, cnVision. These 4 modules make up a powerful class that we believe that if you certify yourself in this, you will be significantly more confident in deploying wireless for video cameras. backhauling. We are transitioning this program into a self-taught modules with a test at the end of the day, at the end of the modules. So you can now take the class on a phone or a laptop, and the instructor-led becomes an optional solution. Last but not least, I had to cough real quick, so I had to put everybody on mute. But last but not least, the CamBium support, 24/7 support, 3-year warranty, forum support, et cetera, is a very powerful. We are there for you. Our partners are there for you. If you need support, some pre-sales support, post-sales support, we're always going to be there, and there's going to be a real person you can speak to, whether via email or a phone call. We are a high-touch company for our customers. The channel. This is a very, very important aspect to the whole cnVision offering. Product is just one thing. If you're a system integrator, you're representing camera brands or playing with other products, how a vendor treats its partners is very important. So our channel partner program, which you can log into once you become a cnVision system integrator, we have things like minimum advertised price. This is so that people are not advertising lower than the required price and undercutting each other. Strict policies, ensuring things like maximum discount policy. You're not allowed to drop price below a certain point, as well as information, collateral, videos, logos, product information. All of this is uploaded into the portal. In order to become one of the partners and see the pricing, you need to apply very easily to become first and foremost a CamBium partner. And then when you log in, you'll see a cnVision system integrator application. It takes 2 minutes to fill it out. You send it to an email address and we approve it. That gives you access to the program. You can go look at promotions, all sorts of information as we fill it up. Our goal is to be in constant communication with all the partners that participate in the cnVision program. This is it, the cnVision System Integrator Program, specialty program with connected partner, and this is the email. I highly encourage everybody to go look at it. You can buy the product from a distributor. You have exclusivity to the information. And last but not least, I should highlight that the margins on this product is quite good. If you follow the maximum discount policy, et cetera, you're able to get the good margins. Okay, so with that, we are going to switch. I'm sure there's lots of questions coming in. Just to take a quick look, nope, not a lot of questions yet. We're going to shift towards a different presenter, Chinmay Kaskar, who's one of my engineers. He will do a demo, and as he does it, I will kind of talk through and explain what we are seeing. Okay, and with that, Chinmay, I think you're able to make yourself a presenter and share your screen.
Yep.
All right, excellent. Okay. So we will start with this. So what Chinmay is doing right now is he's logged into a cnVision hub, and the first thing you're seeing here is a dashboard of sorts. And what you'll notice, unlike any other wireless products, if you've logged into an Ubiquiti unit or a SilverNet or whatnot, you won't see anything like this. The very first page has a down here on a table. You'll notice it has information about cnVision detected cameras. Under camera name, I don't know if you're able to see my mouse. Chinmay, maybe you can move your mouse under the camera name. Right. Camera name, you'll see Vivotech, Mobatics, Avigilon, Hikvision, Axis, Panasonic. I think Dahua is in there as well. These are cameras that are on the network that we are using this OnViv client to communicate with and discover information. So if you, for some reason, you deploy this network and you're like, I don't remember what cameras I put where, you log into the hub and client, you can say, oh, these are all the cameras on this network. And if you wanted to do a little bit more and say, I can't seem to access the camera from my VMS system. Maybe somebody typed the wrong password. Maybe somebody disconnected or reconfigured the camera on the VMS, but everything else is working. And before you send a truck over there, you want to see what's going on. So Chinmay, go ahead and click on video stream and log into Vivotech, for example. This is credentials that we've already set up on the camera. So as he types this in and he hits submit, what's happening is we're actually tapping into the broadcast stream that's coming from the camera. It takes a little few seconds because you're actually looking at a live stream and rebroadcasting. But as I mentioned, what this allows you to do is you sort of see what the camera is seeing without logging into the camera, without doing anything with the VMS, and say, okay, looks like up to my backhaul network, everything is good. My camera is looking at the highway that it's supposed to at the parking lot, and it's working. So this is one of the key and highly differentiated features, and you can do this with just about all the name brand cameras as you see here, and we're always adding more to that. You can cancel that window now. We're adding that to multiple camera vendors. So this is the OnVIF integration. The rest of the system, the GUI, the quick start configuration, bringing a link up is meant to be literally a 2-minute job. You should not have to go into any deeper configuration. If you wanted to, you're certainly welcome to do that, but quick start menu makes you walk through things like SSID, device name, a few little frequency configuration if you want to do security, et cetera, you can run through this pretty quickly. I apologize. Moving ahead, monitor tools, we'll go to tools now. Numerous tools, everything from backing up your configuration, spectrum analyzer, etc. But one of the things I like to highlight as part of this is the watchdog mechanism. The one thing that a watchdog has when you enable it, you're able to ping the IP address of the camera. So if imagine that the cable between the camera and the client, or the hub in this case, is damaged and your connectivity is gone. Well, you can start by pinging the camera and just isolating that, okay, can the camera and the hub still communicate with each other? If they can't communicate, then you have a problem. Most likely it's a physical problem or maybe a network issue. But typically these are relatively flat networks. You shouldn't have complex networking rules. If they are pinging, but you can't get to it from your core network, then you can start looking at other networking problems. So my message here is that here are some tools that allow you to do things to troubleshoot the network more. Again, the idea is we're not just a wireless link that you just send the traffic. We're more than that. We're integrated with the cameras. We're integrated with how you guys deploy and troubleshoot. So it makes things a little easier. I would even argue that if you have a fiber or a copper, which is cut or something else is happening with it, you really don't have a lot of tools in your hands like you would on a wireless system to debug. Okay, moving on to the other very exciting part, which is VMS integration. So right now, this is basically a module, a module that we created that allows us to communicate to different video management systems. And we're able to push some alarms and events, as well as create a camera tile, which you'll see here in a few seconds. We have 2 VMSs in here on the UI right now. Milestone is obviously the Canon Access high-end system. Access camera station we're also working on. WiseNet is the Hanwha, as in former Samsung camera brand. Genetec we've also completed. We just haven't added to the UI. We're going to add it here shortly. So Genetec, Milestone, WiseNet is completed. Hikvision, we're working with them on some APIs, so they'll get added in. And we believe more or less after that we have a good coverage. As you look at your industry, if you think there's a VMS vendor that is really high up on the list, then we're very much willing to engage. Avigilon is the other one that we're bringing into the mix here. Okay, so with that, Chinmay, if you wanted to start with Milestone, that would be great. So Chinmay here has a Milestone XProtect client. He's got a camera on it right now, which happens to be an Avigilon camera that is on a dome camera that's upside down. Well, it's the right side up, but the picture is upside down. What you see on the bottom left, or right about in the middle, in the gray window right there, is actually a tile where we are pushing information straight from the hub and the client and sending it to Milestone XProtect. And it's showing you the throughput of that client and the status of it. It's up and running. It's 48 minutes has been up. So this is another way to correlate your camera statistics with what you're presenting here. On the right side of it, you see the filter and alarms. Alarms here, it says STA reject, STA registered. STA in this case is a station, which is an internal name we use. This is going to say client here shortly. But this is the idea that we're pushing these alarms saying, hey, this client was rejected by the hub, and the reason being a security mismatch, or this client re-registered with the hub. So these alarms are being added, and the language describing them is also getting updated. So Chinmay highlighted one of the alarms, and it showed the reason is operator-initiated disconnect. So in this case, Chinmay actually went into the product and said, disconnect, as he's showing right now. He's going to monitor wireless, and he's initiating a deregistration, which is triggering an event and being sent to the VMS. And that is the integration that we talked about. Thank you, Chinmay. With that, we'll move on to the next one, just to show a different view, the Hanwha one, if you don't mind. And if you, right, so this is already running. He's added a few cameras here. Again, the tile is very easy to use. Chinmay, if you want to show how the tile was added here, that would be good. You go to the web pages, and when you click a new web page, can you show the link you're copying from on the product UI, please? Right. So when you go to the VMS integration page, you've seen this thing called the VMS preview link. This is a live link that is generated when you ask the device to generate it, and you take that link. In most VMS systems, go ahead, go back to WiseNet Wave. You go to that web page, do a new web page, you add this URL, you hit OK, and then you don't have to change the name if you don't want to. Right, and that creates this, he's deleting the existing page and he's creating a new page. Just do the URL. He's naming the page, and boom. So that's pulling up the data right there. And along with that, if you go to the right side on the notification part, similar to what you just saw on Milestone, on this VMS, you start seeing things like new client registered, our client reason communication lost, et cetera, as well as the operator initiated disconnect. So this is the two main platforms, as I said, Access Camera Station, Avigilon, Hikvision, a lot of these are coming together, but this is the differentiation. This is a very, very powerful positioning for us, that your wireless hub and client just got a bit smarter in terms of integrating with video management systems, as well as the on-wave camera integration. And with that, we will conclude the demo. And again, we're happy to do more sessions if anybody needs deeper dive, as well as the training, etc. But I will go back and move to seeing if there are any questions on the call. Don't be shy. Start asking questions. Interestingly enough, our last webinar we did, oh, there are questions, sorry. For some reason, I was like, this is a quiet crowd. Okay. Right, is deployment assistant available now? If not, when will it be available? We are just 2 to 3 weeks away from making it available on our website, so stay tuned. We'll push it to the partner portal as well, so you'll get that information. What's the maximum number of cameras that a hub and a client can handle 1080p with 10 frames per second? I don't want to answer that question here. This is actually a good task for the capacity planning part of the deployment assistant. But fundamentally, we do the calculation, and here's the best way to think about this. 1080p 10 frames per second, I am guessing it's not going to be more than 4 to 6 megabits per second. One of these clients, if you build a link with the right conditions, you can easily do as high as 500 to 600 megabits per second. But realistically, I don't want you to use the wide channel, so you're going to have 200 to 300 megabits per second link. Within that, you can put multiple cameras. So this is what the exact question you answered, this is exactly what we anticipate answering. And as soon as you get the companion tool, you can do this math yourself and see how well that works out. The maximum distance is 2,450 feet from end to end. Good. We can, if you want, Richard, we can do the, since you have a specific project, we are happy to run the link analysis for you and let you know. We'll come back to you via the email or something. Is the software a cloud-based software or on-premise software? Can we include such a software in our office of the equipment which are perfect? Yes. So the answer to that is it's not a cloud-based software. It's an on-premise software. So the companion is something you install on your laptop. So if you have equipment sitting in your office that you're about to go deploy, that's the purpose of this tool. This tool runs on the local network. It will go and discover the radios and show you the information. So you want to do this as part of your prep work. It's part of your pre-deployment staging. Yes, if the cameras are, if you have devices connected to cnMaestro, you can use the tool as well. Should be no issues there. Okay. Thank you so much for the above information. We're working on a project for oil and gas refinery depot. Kindly advise if the hardware are intrinsically safe for use in the environment. Do you have any certification for the same kind? Right. So oil and gas refinery depot typically requires some advanced certification, if I'm not mistaken, Charlton, such as explosion proof and things like that. If you don't mind reaching out to me offline, we can discuss. But other than IP67 rating, we don't have any specific certification on this product. Question was, can we connect existing ePMP 1000 or Force 200 devices, which already we do have in the field? No, you cannot. This is while you can see that the product line has some look and feel similar, it is meant to be a completely different product line as to what ePMP is, and they are not interchangeable, or the software is not interchangeable. I'll say this in a very transparent manner. If you are a super comfortable user of ePMP or Canopy or any of our product line, and you use that today, you are welcome to use that today. If you feel that the VMS integration and the OnVIF integration is something that brings additional value for you and your customer, that's when you switch to cnVision. The target of this product line is really to go after folks that don't look at wireless today or looking at competing wireless, and we want to position cnVision to them. Okay. Moving on, is there a cost to integrate with the new VMS? No, we're always willing to listen to that, and there's no cost. The only thing that you have to be aware of is that if a VMS vendor has licensing requirements, where every device you add has licensing costs, then they may ask you to pay a license for that. When will cnVision managed by cnMaestro? Right now, we're not looking to add it to cnMaestro, but this request has come up a few times. Keep in mind again, and this is to Tony's question and for the wider audience, cnMaestro is designed today to cater to a Wi-Fi network. Everything about WLAN and networks and tower and site concepts, SM and AP. It's a geared towards the WISP market as well as the Wi-Fi enterprise market. cnMaestro will not give you anything related to camera statistics or camera information, any of that. It's not designed for that. So having cnVision in cnMaestro will give you the WISP service provider network view. We don't see that that's a huge plus, because you're going to build some pretty small networks and you should be able to use cnVision with the VMS part of things. Having said that, the request has come up and we will evaluate whether we can add it to cnVision. Yes, maps, planning to integrate maps with geolocalization in VMSs. Not in the VMS. The VMS is not something we're developing, right? The VMS is very much a third-party device. So the real question is, if the VMS supports something like that and we can send our location information, that's something we can look at for sure. How can we demo or obtain NFT for the equipment in the UK? So this is Carl, you're obviously one of our partners. I think we can take this up internally with CamBium. I've already offered that if anybody wants to do demo or proof of concept, we can work with you on that. I'm planning a 49 HD camera project which requires a wireless transmission venue. Is this technology available for purchase now? So Richard, absolutely, it is available for purchase. I am not sure if you're in North America, but if you are, I'm happy to support you in this project. If you don't mind, just shoot me an email right after this call. I'm not sure if I shared my email with everybody, but it is going to be, I'll type it in the chat window. Right.
Sent to all. So that is my email address, which is in the chat window. So feel free to shoot me an email. I guess I put it in there, but maybe it didn't show up. Anyway, it's sakid.ahmed@cambiumnetworks.com. Richard, I have your email too. Perfect, thank you. I think that was the last question. Webinars are good to be short and sweet. We will keep doing this when the tool is available. We'll probably do another webinar with that. When the training class is all available, we'll do that again. The recording will be available, Jeff, and it will be posted, and you guys will get a thank you email with a link to the recording, so you can listen to it at your leisure. And then, as always, please, if you have any questions, if you want to do the application for becoming a partner, cnVision@cambiumnetworks.com is the easy email to remember. Yes, Jeff, you can watch it too as well. All right, with that, we will wrap up the webinar. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a great day and hope to see you become a partner and start deploying the project. Thank you again.